So, hope everybody is having a classy weekend. Anyways, it is the end of the day, and I'm just going to throw together a crock pot dinner recipe. You guys seem to enjoy my crock pot breakfast fruity bean kind of thing that I invented. So, if you tried that out, my applause goes out to you for trying something new. Let me know how it went. And you all asked me for my crock pot dinner recipes that I normally come up with to get myself through the week. Today I'm going to be whipping up a Lebanese green bean crock pot cook down, if you will. It's inspired by a traditional Lebanese green bean recipe. I'm just donning my aprons here, classy and IKEA with the veg decor. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty easy, and you can make it on the stove if you want, in a pot, and get all fancy, but I don't have time to tend things, so I'm just gonna dump everything in my crock pot and let it cook down real slow. So let me show you all the ingredients that go into this. It's very few, and this takes really no time or brain capacity whatsoever. Okay, so for this recipe, I'm going to be using about 1/4 of a large white onion that I'm going to dice, 5 cloves of garlic that I'm also going to dice up, about 12 ounces of fresh green beans that I will snippety snap into about 2-inch length, a 2-inch length. 1 artisanal can of diced tomatoes in the juice. I'm using this one from Crock, locally sourced, if you will. I like to minimize added salt, so this one has no added salt, and I just dropped it, so there's a little bruise there. But yeah, pretty easy. And then as far as spice, I'm just gonna be adding a little bit of cumin. I'm also going to thicken up the sauce with a little bit of tomato paste. And then I'm going to be using about 1.25 cups of cannellini beans. I cooked these up on the stove from Dray this past weekend. You can use any bean in this that you want. Traditionally, I believe this recipe uses meats. I'm not entirely sure. If you are Lebanese and are familiar with it, please comment below. But you could use really any sort of protein source you want, or you can skip this and just serve this as a green bean side dish. And I'm also going to throw in about roughly 1 cup, we'll see, of this low sodium organic vegetable broth. But I typically have some vegetable broth made up in advance, but this is in my pantry and I'm going to use it tonight because I don't have any that I have been making up in advance. So that's what's going on. Then to garnish, I'm going to sprinkle on a little bit of parsley and some sliced almonds at the end. But yeah, this is super easy. All right, but first up, I'm just going to peel and dice my garlic and chop up my onion. But speaking of making veggie broth up in advance, this is what I like to call my no child left behind bin, wherein I save all the little scrippity scraps and what have you to dump into a large pot at some juncture during the week and let cook low and slow to make veggie broth. So that's what this is. Just scraps that I kind of pick at and throw in things throughout the week, but I don't like to waste anything, particularly when it comes to food, because there's so many great flavors in a lot of the different parts of food, and you can put like onion peels in broths, believe it or not, and it turns the veggie broth a brownish coloration, sort of like what the savants at Pacific have done here. Can you see? They also have one that they've made it look like it's chicken broth, but it's not. It's called the chicken broth or something. It's very good. But update on the sprouting front, I have not tried sprouting again. Oops, runaway garlic. Since the broccoli sprouts were sort of low yield, they tasted good though, but honestly they didn't taste any better than what you buy in the store, so I don't know. The jury's still out on if that's worth the energy expenditure on my part. It's sort of been our version of winter here, which means, I don't know, it gets to like a pleasant 60. Just right for wearing Carol Hockman PJs at night, but not like freezing cold where you actually need to put the heater on and desiccate your stratum corneum, although some people prefer the heater. Just chitty-chatting down here. But I think one of the hardest things, honestly, in the winter for skincare is resisting the urge to take a long hot shower. I mean, it's nearly impossible to get out of the shower when it's freezing cold, particularly if you happen to be in an apartment setting where the heating's not so fantastic. Hot shower at the end of the day, it's like, oh, wonderful. You know, you all ask me a fair amount about like steaming your face and steaming your body. You really don't want to do that, honestly. When you steam the face, you're really just boiling the water right out of your skin and desiccating it. So stop doing that. Not fun. So, you know, as soon as you get out of the shower, make sure you grease up your body with a thick moisturizing cream. I like to keep mine on the edge of the tub. That way I don't forget, and I kind of stop transepidermal water loss in its tracks. If you're like totally confused, you're like, I thought I was watching a crock pot vegan recipe. What's this crazy woman in an adult bib talking about with a stratum corneum? My content is largely skincare, and if you're ever worried about it, so if you happen to have any concerns about how to moisturize your body, should that be of interest to you as well, open up the description box and you'll find some skincare videos that cover a wide range of topics. All right, I'm just gonna pull out my homeboy, Silly Proctor Silex. This is my gangster wrap crock pot. You can get this on Amazon for like 20 bucks, honestly. This is the best investment I have ever made. But the reason I like to cook in the crock pot is that I can, you know, go about my life and not have to actively be engaged in the preparation of food after I dump it into the little basin of wonder here. I know everyone's jazzed about the Instapot. I haven't gotten into that because my counter space situation is less than desirable, so I can't commit to another device. But I would like to explore that. If you have an Instapot, how does it, how does it fare in terms of its performance as a crock pot? Because I think that's what I would use it the most. I don't do pressure cooking. My grandmother was a pressure cooking, pressure cooked everything. Everything was high pressure in her kitchen. But I really don't pressure cook, so I don't think I would use that feature. And what is the other feature it has? Can it, like, I don't know, take your laundry out or something? It gets good reviews on YouTube. So if you have one, you know, is it worth getting? Should I replace Procter and Silly with an Instapot? Comment below. I prepare my beans from scratch, but I kind of like my method, so I can't imagine myself changing it. I just kind of like mine in these C's. That's the proper culinary term. Onion C's. Onion C's. Not only is the peel good thrown into into making broth later on, but it's also good as a knife wiper. Leave no veg behind. It is a nationwide epidemic. Our veggies are being left behind. Now I'm just gonna snippety snap. It doesn't have to be precise, about that big. And these I'm taking the little end pieces off, but don't worry, they will go in my No Child Left Behind bin. All right, so now that the most labor-intensive part is over of chop and snap, we're just gonna snap into the 14.5-ounce can of diced and salted tomatoes here and dump them on in. And this is my BFF, you guys. This glorified toothpaste tube of tomato paste. It is so convenient to have this. It's just a lot tidier. I store mine in the fridge in the butter section of my fridge since I don't eat butter. But you want to use about 2 tablespoons, but I'm just gonna kind of eye it. It's usually about a squirt and a half or so. There we go. So that is in. Don't brush your teeth with this. I don't think it'd be too keen on the enamel. but it tastes good. You know, they have all these exotic flavored toothpaste nowadays to get kids to want to brush their teeth, but I worry that they'd want to just eat that. At least I would have as a child. I needed my toothpaste to taste like what it was supposed to. Likewise, medicines that taste too good for kids, I mean, I don't know. That seems like a recipe for poisoning. So anyways, moving right along. The other thing that we are going to be adding to this is, our cumin. Not much cumin. A little bit of cumin goes a long way. You don't want to overkill it on that. I will put the... But you're just gonna add a teaspoon of cumin. I'll put all this down below so you don't have to frantically write. Just expand the description box. Does everybody know how to expand a description box? You know, sometimes I ask you all to do all this song and dance stuff with liking and thumbs upping and expanding a box, but there's like a little arrow down there. You know, you'll see the title of the video down below, and there's like a little arrow that you have to tap. And when you tap, the box expands. I didn't know that for like a year, honestly. Okay, of watching YouTube. And I'm just going to put a little pepper in here. And I'm going to add my veggie broth. You want about 1.5 cups. And I'm gonna add in my beans. All right, guys, so there we go. And now we're just gonna let Proctor and Silly sing away here and do all the work for me. So I'm gonna put him on, you know, depending on how long you have, you might put this on low and let it go low and slow. That's kind of the best way to get the most flavors. But if you're pressed for time, you can crank it on up to high. And that's just gonna go. So we will see it when it's done, though. But anyways, I'm going to get my gym clothes and go for a run, though. So I will check in with you guys at the other side. And boom, I had this bad boy cooking in the crock pot on high for about roughly 2 hours while I was in the gym and just got out of the shower. So I have decorated my Lebanese green bean crock pot cook down with some parsley and some almonds, sliced almonds, to make it pretty for you guys. And that is going to be a delicious dinner, and take some tomorrow for lunch as well in one of those meal prep containers from my lifestyle favorites video. Yeah. But anyways, guys, as I mentioned, I will list all of the ingredients and the recipe down below in the description box. But you totally need to make this. It is so easy. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.